Hi guys, so you know that we are gonna start doing some ghost hunting and mooching around abandoned places. So I thought I'd give you my ghost story from Denby Asylum. Now, I love absolutely everything to do with the paranormal and searching abandoned places. I love being a little explorer, searching through the dark, seeing if you spot anything or hear any noises while you're out and about. And not much scares me, like, on an insane level. I get spooked and a bit creeped out, and I get, like, a nervous laugh. I don't know if anyone gets this nervous laugh, but I get it at, like, weddings, funerals. Like, the worst is at a funeral when you cannot stop laughing, and it's like, and you know, it's nothing's even funny. It's like you're devastated, but you get that nervous laugh because it's so quiet. Awful. But you know what I mean, like this. And you just can't stop laughing. That's the one. But I never get freaked out to the point where I'm literally frightened, like I am scared for my life. So I worked in a nursing home for about 7 years, 8 years, and doing night shifts, you see a lot of things in the dark, hear a lot of noises. Like, I've got a lot of stories from the nursing home. There's been a time where I've been working a night shift, and I remember going for a ciggy outside with one of the girls, and it must have been like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And we were sat, there used to be like this hut outside, but it was like in the car park at the back of the building. And I remember being sat there with one of the girls that I worked with, and she just literally went white. We were talking, she just went white. And I was like, "Are you okay?" And she was like, "Jess, there's something in that window, someone's in that window." And I was like, what? So we legged it in, you know, as you do, ran back in, flicked our ciggies, buggered off. God, the thought of smoking. So ran back in the building, and then we needed to go down and check that side of the building. So we were like, "Oh, I'm not going down on my own." So we went to go together, and we literally got like a quarter up the corridor, and we just heard someone whistling. Like, we just heard this like eerie whistle coming down the corridor. And now all the clients that we had at that time, none of them would have been able to whistle. So we literally, as we heard the whistle, we literally ran straight back. We were devastated, like we could not go. We were so freaked out. And then obviously eventually we managed to get the guts to go together and go down. Everything was fine. But there was that eerie whistle, which freaked us the hell out. And then there was another time when I was in the kitchen. They have this like small kitchen, it's like tiny. And it's like no one's about, it's like on a smaller unit. And then someone literally, like, if you ever had someone go and blow on the back of your neck, where you, to the point where you go like that. I literally just doing the dishes or making a cup of tea, whatever I was doing, and I just went whoosh, like someone proper blew on the back of my neck. And I turned around because I thought it was one of the guys messing about with me like normal. So I turned around and I was ready to go, "Oh, you divvy." And there was no one there, like literally no one in sight. But it couldn't have been the wind, because it literally was that strong that it made me go like that. Oh, loads of stories from that place. There was a room that I could not go in. Like, if I went in, I had to have the door open. I could not shut the door and be in that room. There was just something about that room I didn't like. You know, when you get that gut feeling, I'm telling you, there's something wrong with that room. But I have never loved anywhere like I love Denby Asylum. Like, the building itself it's massive. I'll show you in a minute. And it's just absolutely stunning. Like, it looks really eerie, but I just think it's gorgeous. So check this out. I'll show you now. So you can see it is absolutely massive. Like, it's like a prison, but even bigger, with all the separate outbuildings. Like, there's a church at the back, there's a morgue at the back. There's so many buildings where you can see where the little like rooms, cells, whatever they're called, have been. It's just an amazing place. Now, obviously the place has like a horrific past to it. So many things happen there, horrible experiments, like the poor little people, bless their souls. I've heard a lot of ghost stories about there, which really freak me out. And if you Google it, you'll probably find a lot of them yourself. But my story wasn't while I was there, but when I got home. So the first time I went Denby, and this was after the first time, I was with my partner at the time, and we went round. We've never been before. Like, you have to sneak in over this wall. There's like a little wall where you can climb over, but there's a house, like there's a wall, and then there's a house, and in that house there's a man with dogs who is kind of like the keeper of the asylum, like looks after it. So you've got a trespass, and then you've got to sneak through, and then find your way around. But the first time we went, like obviously we went in the night, it was only 2 of us, 2 women, and we was a bit freaked out. So we went around the entire building, the morgue, everything, and I was freaked out, as you would, as anyone would be, in the dark and in an abandoned place at like God knows what time at night, just on your own, 2 girls. But I wasn't freaked out to the level where I was like frightened, just the normal kind of spooked out. So then, as we walked back to the car from the building, there was a bat like circling above us, which literally followed us all the way back to the car, and I was like, wow, like that freaked me out a bit. But I kind of like brushed it off and thought, nah, it's fine. But then on the drive home, like I was all excited, I was chatting away about it, and I was looking through the photos. And then literally as we got home, as we pulled up at the house, I spotted on one of the photos a man in the window, and I'm not kidding you. I know people say like, oh my god, there's something in that window when they look at the pictures, but you could clearly see his eyes, his nose, his ears, like his mouth, and you could see like he was wearing some sort of like robe, and you could literally see it all in detail. I had the picture. I've got one that I uploaded to Facebook, but for some reason once you upload it to Facebook, the quality like goes lower, so you can't really see the man's face. I'll get a picture up for you here, but you could literally, as I say, see his entire face, all his features. Like, there was no going around it. Like, there was a man in that window. So that completely freaked me out. Like, the excitement turned into absolute like fear, and I was in like a state of panic. I was like, I am not getting out of this car. There is no way I'm getting out of this car. So obviously eventually I did, and for a couple of days everything was fine. You know, days go by, everything was ordinary, nothing unusual. And then a couple of days later, because we used to both work 12-hour shifts, so we used to be out for 8 till 8, so the pair of us wasn't in the house, and then I normally get home first because I only work around the corner. And I came home, and you know there are windows like this, the windows where you push the button and then you've got to turn the handle to open the window. Well, I came home and the window was literally all the way out, like it was opened to the highest it could like open, you know, like literally on max. So I rang my partner at the time. I was like, have you opened these windows? Like, why are all the windows open wide like this? Because they opened upwards like that, not like this way. So it was literally all the way up. And she was like, I've not opened the windows. I've not opened the windows, blah, blah, blah. So I was, okay, I rubbed it off, whatever. Thought maybe she did and she forgot, or like I knew I definitely hadn't because I wouldn't open the window that wide, but whatever. Rubbed it off, and then I kept coming home, and literally all the windows were wide open like that. And even the spare room, which we never really went in because we had a 3-bedroom house, but there's only 2 of us, and one was like a spare room, and then one was just like, we just didn't touch that one. So I knew no one had been in to open that window. So it was all freaking me out a little bit, but I was kind of like, wasn't at that point yet where I was terrified. And then I came home, and the table I'd moved across the room, like up against the window, which you could not explain. Like, I didn't know. Neither of us, both of us, adamant that we hadn't done it, as you do. So again, brushed it off. Then I came home from work, and like I went to the toilet. I was sat on the toilet, and I literally looked up, and as I can look up from the toilet, you can see the loft, and the loft was open. So then I was like, you know, when you get that instant fear, like I was like, oh, because I don't like lofts, like it freaked me the hell out. So I rang her again, and I was like, have you opened the loft? And she said, no, not open the loft, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, getting the broom, shutting the loft, brushing it off again. Then the next day I come home again, and the loft's open again. So now I'm starting to panic. I'm thinking, is someone living in the loft? Or are you just forgetting that you've been in the loft? But why would you be in the loft? So my head's gone. I'm shut in the loft again, kind of like freaked out being in the house on my own. And then I go into work. One of the girls in work was actually going to get her son to come round and look in the loft to see if anyone was living in the loft. So freaked out as we was, like I could not sleep. I had to leave the light on. The light kept flickering in the hallway. I had to leave it on because I was like, oh my god, I'm not going out there. Do you know when you get freaked out and you can't go? It's somewhere that just feels eerie then. It was like that. So I couldn't go, have a night, all the lights were on. Didn't want to be in that house anymore. And then another day, I was cooking, and you know, on the hobs, I was like using the frying pan, and behind me I had a chest freezer. So as I'm cooking, like whatever, bacon and egg, God knows, on the frying pan, the chest freezer literally opens and shuts behind me, like slams. And it was a freezer, do you know the ones that open upwards like that? So it can't just like swing open, like you've got to literally physically pull it up to open it, and it literally slammed behind me. So I was in hysterics, like I was literally crying, and I was like, oh my god, I can't live in this house anymore, like I need to go, blah blah blah, but I had to go. And we literally moved out, say a couple of weeks after. It was that bad where I'd had enough, because you can't explain that. Open windows and stuff, you can kind of like blame it on your partner, say, oh well, you probably forgot, whatever. But a chest freezer shutting behind you, which literally opens up and down, you can't explain that. That can't just randomly happen. So that was enough for me. That was my straw. It was done. So that was my ghost story, and I think that the guy in the photos must have came home. If you think about the bat which followed us to the car, which might have been his spirit following us to the car. Who knows? I might just be like thinking too much into it, but it all happened. So something's going on. Something was going on in that house. So I do believe in spirits. There's been a lot of times where I really do believe in ghosts. Like there's been that many stuff. I was at a point once where I was like, if I see it, I'll believe it, but I did kind of believe it in a way. But now I dead set believe in spirits, dead set. So I was thinking of doing our ghost hunting channel, and we're going to go around all the abandoned buildings. We're going to go in, well, the most haunted places in the UK, whatever. We're gonna, there's abandoned like little cities that I found and have been before. I also love everything like cults, aliens, UFOs, Area 51. I absolutely love Area 51. Like anything about that, I'll watch on the telly for hours. Absolutely love it. It's amazing. I remember when we went to America, we literally parked up outside it, and you can see like the guards, you know, the army officers in the car, and I've watched loads of videos about it. It's dead interesting. So I thought we were going to do some stuff like that. So if that's something you'd like to see, then make sure to let me know in the comments below, and also give this video a like and subscribe to make sure that you don't miss out on the new ones, and so that I know that you want to see them. So thank you for watching, and subscribe for more ghostly, terrifying